Coming up on this edition of Sports Extra, throw a flag on the play. Man, somebody get the ref. In a game filled with penalties, Carolina came out on top. Now, how will UNC prepare for a coastal collision in Pittsburgh?
Carolina basketball is back. Come join us for a wonderful night of dancing with the Tars. Oh, and they played a little bit too.
And you've got to get to practice somehow, but there might be a little trouble in paradise. We scoot on over with some athletes. All that and more, Sports Extra starts
right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Media and Journalism, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
Boom.
Did we scare you? It's Halloween week, and boy, do we have some treats for you today. I'm Luis Fernandez.
And I'm Jordan Black. Grab your boo or ghoul friend as we hand out some spooky takes instead of candy. Suspended cornerbacks MJ Stewart and Mike Hughes have been reinstated to the team. Hughes played against Virginia on Saturday, and Stewart will be available to play against Pitt on Thursday. Both players were charged with assault, and their court cases are ongoing.
Even with those suspensions, Carolina came in on Saturday looking to grab its 6th win in a row, something the Heels haven't done since 1997. The first half Heels were sloppy with a capital S. Larry is not happy. It was bad. Check out Mac Hollins. Break this dude's ankles really quick, though. That's good. Whoop! Oh, but he fumbles the ball because Carolina can't have nice things. Marquise Williams tries to force this throw to Austin Proehl, of all people, and it was intercepted. Oh, excuse me, sir. What's that flag for? Oh, yeah, that's right. Everything. UNC was averaging about 5 penalties a game before Saturday. The Heels nearly tripled that against UVA, coming in with 13 flags. It really put the Tar Heels behind the chains and kept UVA's drives moving. Nearly cost Carolina the game, but the running attack was able to keep things going. TJ Logan had his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season, and Elijah Hood kept on rolling for 2 more scores to add on to a season total of 8 touchdowns. Here, let's check out his 2nd one really quick. I'm pretty sure he bowls over 12 Virginia defenders. Now, even with the Zebras running wild, UNC held on for the final score of 26-13. It's the first time Carolina has started.
It's the first time that they started 3-0 in ACC play since 1997. Can you believe it? I can't. Another win against another ACC opponent. 6 wins, 1 loss. Is it enough for UNC to get into the top 25? Nope. The Tar Heels were left out of the AP top 25 once again this week. The Heels are actually the only 1-loss team from a Power 5 conference not ranked in the top 25, but the team will have some opportunities to move up in the polls. Carolina's next 2 games are at number 23 Pitt and at home against number 22 Duke. Marquise Williams was downright offended that the Tar Heels were excluded from the top 25, and he took to Instagram to let the world know how he felt, quote, laughing at ESPN college football because they don't want to recognize a real squad. That's cool. Just wait on it. #6-1, #hungry for more. Wide receiver Quinshaw Davis has already broken one major UNC record this year, career receiving touchdowns, and he's on the verge of another record. Just two more catches, and wide receiver Quinshaw Davis will become UNC's all-time leader in receptions, passing Tar Heel great and 2-time Super Bowl winner Hakeem Nicks. Nicks holds the record with 180 catches. Davis is averaging about 4 catches per game, and I think you can do the math there. Joining us now live in studio to help break this all down is football analyst Amanda Lee. Amanda, it was an ugly, ugly game.
Yeah, that's right, Jordan. It looked just about as good as literally any Duke basketball player. But you know what they say about good teams? They find ways to win. And this Carolina team is turning out to be pretty good. Carolina's defense is showing up like Dre Bly and Robert Quinn are on the field. They were really great with the turnovers. Look at this one-handed grab by Malik Simmons, so sweet. And then check out this grab from Sam Smiley, 1 interception, his first, and Shaquille Rashad, another one for him. Robert Dinkins also recovered a fumble, and the game was tied at 13-13. But all these turnovers came whenever the team was tied at 13-13. They got it done when they need it most. And we've talked a lot about how Carolina's defense has improved significantly this year, allowing only 16.7 points per game during the second half. The Heels have been unbreakable, though. UNC's defense has allowed 117 points in 7 games so far this season. Only 45 of those points have come in the second half. including 2 shutout halves against Wake Forest and Virginia. Of course, Carolina's defense wants to play well during all 4 quarters, but this shows that the players are really responding to defensive coordinator Gene Chizik's halftime adjustments. The Heels are 3-0 in ACC play for the first time since 1997, and they control their own destiny in the Coastal. Let's take a look at how the standings are and see how the race to Charlotte is shaping up. Pitt is currently at the top of the Coastal with a half-game lead over Duke and UNC. All 3 of the top teams are undefeated in ACC play. Rounding out the top 4 is Miami with a 1-2 record in the conference. Carolina faces all 3 of these teams in the next 3 weeks, starting with that Thursday night showdown in Pittsburgh. Pitt has only been a member of the ACC for 2 years, but the Panthers have been a tough opponent for Carolina. The Heels have beaten Pitt 2 years in a row, but those games have been close. In 2013, Carolina jumped out to a big lead early, but they had to fight off the Panthers' 4th quarter comeback to win 34-27. Ryan Switzer was the star of that game, returning not 1, but 2 punts for touchdowns, including this game winner right here. Pitt's star running back James Conner torched the Heels on the ground last year, running for a whopping 220 yards. But Conner is out for the season with a torn MCL. Advantage Heels. Late game heroics again. Williams led the team 75 yards down the field with 3.5 minutes left in the 4th quarter, capping the drive off with a TJ Logan go-ahead touchdown run. We'll really get to see we'll get a chance to see what this football team is made of on Thursday night. Fans hope the sloppy play was a wake-up call. A slow start against Pitt, Jordan, might be too much to overcome.
Absolutely, Amanda. A short week is always tough. We'll just have to see how the Heels respond. Football analyst Amanda Lee live in studio. Thank you, Amanda.
Carolina basketball is finally back. The start of the season is always marked by Late Night with Roy. TNT analyst and former Carolina basketball player Kenny the Jet Smith hosted Late Night. It was a night of fun and laughter with members of the team showing their off-court talents. Joel James performed with UNC Bangra Elite, and look at those moves. Not bad for the big fella. Stealing the show, though, for the 2nd year in a row was Kennedy Meeks. With his rendition of Drake's Hotline Bling, let's take a listen. Kennedy, stick the basketball, please. And finally, for the first time since March, the fans got to see the team play, although it was just a scrimmage. So let's bring in our basketball and choreography analyst, Brett Thompson, to break down the Tar Heels dance moves. Brett, what'd you think of that performance?
I'll tell you this, I'm not going to give you guys any dance analysis. I couldn't even hit the Soldier Boy back in middle school, but I will stick to sports like everybody tells me to. So believe it or not, the team did have a scrimmage at the end of all this dancing. This is the first look we got at UNC this year, and there was some rust. Isaiah Hicks missing the dunk. Bryce Johnson a little later on. Them's ain't cookies. And then Marcus Page even airballs the shot, but good news is buddy Joel James is there for the putbacks. Let's give UNC fans something to cheer about. Isaiah Hicks had a monster game. He finished 6 of 9, nice, from the field with 14 points. That was a team high. He's going to challenge Bryce Johnson for that starting spot. He's going to be a force off the bench for UNC.
So it looks like some new faces got in on the action. Tell us about the freshmen this year.
So it wasn't the best class for UNC recruiting-wise, but Roy Williams did snag VCU commit Kenny Williams, and he also got Luke May to come in and provide some depth down low. So Williams got his first action in a UNC uniform, and while he didn't impress offensively, take a look at this block on the perimeter, nice wingspan there. And then Luke May got involved. Watch him snag this rebound and put it right back up. He's going to be a good big man for UNC in the years to come. And then watch May get down the floor. Carolina basketball running the break. Great job by him. He's going to provide more depth for big men later on.
So let's go ahead and look into the future a little bit. Who do you think your breakout player this season is, Brett?
I'll tell you what, from the moment that JP Tokoto declared for the NBA draft, I've been declaring Theo Pinson flourish season. Pinson's numbers don't jump out from last year, but you have to remember that he was injured for a large chunk of conference play, really right as he was hitting his groove. And he was also sitting behind JP Tokoto. Pinson, at his best, can provide a huge spark for UNC like he did in that home loss to Notre Dame last year, where he had 7 points and 8 rebounds in 16 minutes. He's a high-energy guy. I can't wait to see what he does with increased minutes this year.
For me, it's got to be Isaiah Hicks. I love what we saw from him on Friday night at late night. He had a game-high 14 points, like Brett mentioned, 5 rebounds during the scrimmage. I really think we're going to see him potentially become a better player than Johnson, mostly because of his size. He's just got that presence on the court that other players look to, and we see them become more confident when he's around. And yeah, his numbers aren't those of Bryce Johnson, but we have to remember that a lot of that has to do with playing times, and Hicks was on the court in critical times last season.
You know, very hot takes, guys. I don't know if I necessarily agree. I'm going to go with a hot take myself. My breakout player is Justin Jackson. Yes, Justin Jackson. All right, it's not that hot of a take. This guy is amazing. He scored double digits in 12 of the last 14 games in UNC season last year. He's no doubt the best scorer on the team, even with Marcus Page. That's saying something. He's just a basketball player who knows how to play the game properly. And to be honest, I could see a Marcus Page type breakout season from him.
You heard it here first. Thank you, basketball analyst Brett Thompson.
Thanks for having me.
The University of North Carolina is steeped in tradition and history. Nothing says that more than the beloved mascot, Ramses the Ram. We have found out shocking news. Ramses has a son, and he might be the best thing to ever happen to this school. Ramses Jr., or as his friends call him, RJ. He had made his debut at Late Night with Roy, and he followed his pops to the tar pit for some football action. Guys, life cannot get any better than this. Let's compare and contrast. We have yellow horns versus blue horns. We got black eyes versus blue eyes. And oh my gosh, RJ's shoe game is on a whole other level. Hey, Ramses. What are those? Ramses Jr. will be a big part of Carolina Kids Club events, but the little guy is still a bit of a mystery.
On a more serious note, famed ESPN sportscaster Stuart Scott is now a member of the North Carolina Journalism Hall of Fame and a Tar Heel trailblazer. Samantha Ward was at both of these emotional induction ceremonies for the man who was truly a true blue Tar Heel.
Tar Heels everywhere will forever remember Stuart Scott for his many accomplishments as a sportscaster at ESPN, for his big personality, and for his even bigger love for Carolina.
He was a Tar Heel. Guys, when I said he would cry when Carolina lost, he would cry. He would kick my parents out of the room if they were losing and then, they started winning. He insisted that everything aligned so that Carolina Tar Heels could win.
Fellow Carolina legend and Stu's close friend, Mia Hamm, presented the Hall of Fame award to Stuart's sister, Susan Scott.
Whenever you met him and talked to him, you just felt this amazing kind of energy and life force.
Stuart was also honored at Late Night with Roy, where friend and fellow ESPN sportscaster Sage Steele received a customized UNC jersey featuring a nickname that she and Stuart shared. His daughters Taylor and Sydney then took the court to thank the crowd and talk about just how much their dad loved being at Late Night.
He loved UNC, he loved basketball, and he loved Late Night. And wherever he was, he always did his best to make it back to Chapel Hill for this event.
Even though Stuart lost his battle to cancer, his legacy will continue on through his family and his love for Carolina.
I don't know why some of us survive cancer and it takes others, but I do know this. It is never about beating it physically, because in the end, we're all just dust. It is about beating it mentally, and perhaps even more important, spiritually. And on those two fronts, Stuart Scott was a boss. He was a rock star.
The men's soccer team has been frightfully good against opponents in Chapel Hill. Just ask Louisville. After an uneventful first half, the Cards finally broke the ice. Daniel Johnson buries this volley in the 55th minute after a nice cross. 10 minutes later, Tucker Hume is subbed in and flicks in this header. Just 30 seconds later, look at that. That's the Super Subs team-leading 8th goal of the season. And another sub, freshman Andy Lopez, does the same in the 83rd minute to give UNC the lead. Carolina takes a 2-1 comeback victory. Take a look at our season stat sheet. 15 of the Heels' 35 goals have been scored by players who rarely start. That's just a tick under 43% of the Heels' production, and 11 of them are from Hume and Lopez, each of whom tallied a goal on Saturday. With the win against Louisville, Carolina clinched the Coastal Division. Right now, the Heels are on top of the ACC as well and are 2-1 against the conference's top 5. UNC is guaranteed the number 1 or 2 seed in the ACC tournament. It all depends if Carolina can hold off Wake Forest. That 1-0 loss in Winston-Salem is starting to look pretty important.
Yeah, it definitely is, Jordan. The women's soccer team tackled the Fighting Irish Thursday, and the pressure was on. Carolina women's soccer has never lost 4 games in a row. It didn't start off too great. Notre Dame had the early lead until Alexa Newfield hit that penalty, that PK in for the equalizer, and then just minutes later, Joanna Boyles with the header in the box to take the lead. There will be no 4-game losing streak for UNC. Final score 2-1 Carolina. The Tar Heels had a tough one this Sunday against 6th-ranked Clemson Tigers. The ACC is so hard. Clemson's hands-on play had the Heels straight struggling to get shots off, let alone get the ball in the box. But finally, in the 77th minute, Jessie Scarpa broke the scoreless tie off the assist from Joanna Boyles. Heels win 1-0. With the win against Clemson, the Heels moved into a tie for 4th place with the Tigers. UNC has 1 regular season game left and will travel to Miami on Saturday. It's very simple. A win and Carolina is in the ACC tournament. A lot's on the line. Only the top 4 advance in the conference.
To volleyball, the team kicked off a successful weekend on the road as the Heels claimed a 4-set victory against Georgia Tech in Atlanta. Watch this. Abigail Curry scores back-to-back points on dumps in the 3rd set. You'd think those Yellow Jackets would have seen that coming after the first one, but they didn't. The hitter showed up too. Check out Taylor Tracy get up on this spike, one of her 12 kills of the day. Take another look at that one. Oh, that's dirty. Here's Curry's again, but this time she takes an unfortunate shot to the face at the end of the 4th set. Good thing the ball was ruled out of bounds at the net. Way to take one for the team, girl. Heels take the win in 4 sets. Next up, the Clemson Tigers in South Carolina. Freshman Taylor Leith was unstoppable with kill after kill. She ended the game with 14 kills. The Tar Heels cruised to a 1st set victory, and redshirt junior Taylor Tracy helped maintain the pace with this ace to push the Heels to a 25-16 win in the 2nd. Get out the broom, Carolina, because we've got a sweep on our hands. 2 ACC games, 2 ACC wins. Not too shabby of a road trip.
What's worse than waiting in line at the DMV? According to some Carolina athletes, it's finding a spot to park your scooter. Our Gage Tillotson joins us live from outside Kenan Stadium. Gage?
Thanks, Lewis. All those athletes used to freewheeling and cruising around town might have to pump the brakes to avoid a ticket. Sydney Holman is a junior on the women's lacrosse team. She lives in an off-campus house with 6 of her teammates. Walking to class and to practice is out of the question, and the bus times don't always match up with her busy schedule. That's why Holman got some extra equipment, a shiny new scooter.
Huge reason why I bought it is because I live off campus now, and to get to practice, which usually is either on Navy Field or Finley Field down by the golf course, is pretty much a pretty big hike.
A 1.9-mile hike to be exact, but getting there isn't the problem. Parking is the struggle for Holman and other athletes.
The only bad thing about it is that I wish there were more spots to park in around campus.
Most athletes have found parking to be a bigger issue this year than before. That's because of a new state law. Public Safety Director Connie Bullock explains.
It was to require that all scooters and mopeds, not just on campus but throughout the state, were registered through the Division of Motor Vehicles.
Holman says the registration process is quite a hassle. Student athletes are busy, and it's hard for her to find time to go through the process.
the new law was a little bit of a nuisance, especially with getting license plates and having to get it registered.
Even though they're a little upset, Holman and other athletes understand the alternative, walking everywhere, would be much worse. Lewis, back to you.
I totally get it. Trying to park on my car on campus is the worst. Gage Tillotson live from outside Keenan. Thanks, Gage.
Lewis, what are you doing? Are you a pirate? Are you practicing for Halloween?
No, I'm just really excited. UNC Rowing is erging for the cure. Next on Sports Extra.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Carolina field hockey suffered its second loss of the season this weekend to 7th-ranked Wake Forest. The Demon Deacons outscored Carolina 3-2 in Winston-Salem. Senior Nina Notman was the only scorer of the evening, finally finding the back of the net with less than 7 minutes remaining in the game, but her second goal wasn't enough. The Heels have 2 regular season games remaining, both out of conference and both in Chapel Hill. Junior tennis star Haley Carter tore up the court this morning to win the ITA Carolinas Regional. The top-seeded Tar Heel creamed her competition from Clemson to claim the main draw's singles finals. Carter swept her opponent in 2 sets, 6-3 and 7-5. She advances to the ITA National Intercollegiate Championship in New York from November 12th to the 15th.
The wrestling team hosted an open workout on Saturday as the Heels prepared for the upcoming season. The Carolina wrestlers are getting ready to hit the mats, and they are so excited that they're flipping out. New head coach Coleman Scott has been emphasizing the importance of technique and focus. The Heels begin the season ranked 10th in the country according to InterMatWrestle.com. Tune in next week when we preview what looks to be a very promising season for the Tar Heels.
UNC Rowing has come out of the water for a good cause, raising money for the Lineberger Cancer Research Center through its 5th annual Ergathon. Danielle Wallace explains.
UNC Rowing definitely is making more than just a fashion statement with this fundraiser. Outside the Frank Porter Graham Student Union, Tar Heels are trading in that Carolina blue for pink. Decked out in tiaras and pink boas, the team sold t-shirts and collected donations for the UNC Lineberger Comprehensive Cancer Center. The goal? $6,000 for the cure. Junior Stephanie Wangerin says the cause means a lot to her.
This means a lot to our team. I know several moms, grandmothers, and aunts have been impacted by breast cancer. And for me, it's just so important to use our platform as student athletes, just have an opportunity to give back.
Students hopped on the ergs, or sophisticated rowing machines, as part of the event. Rowing co-captain Chelsea Gustafson shows us how it's done.
So you're gonna start with your legs, and then your body, and then your arms, and then finish it out in reverse order. And you just go legs, body, arms. And the harder you drive with your legs, the faster you go.
No matter how fast you go, getting in a workout while supporting breast cancer research sounds like a win-win to me. In Chapel Hill, I'm Danielle Wallace, reporting.
Way to break a sweat for breast cancer research. Nice job, ladies. When Sports Extra returns, get ready to be like Bike.
We'll get so high, his airness would be proud.
You can't really be a North Carolinian if you don't visit the State Fair. Am I right? I took a trip to Raleigh for this annual fest, and no, it wasn't just to try deep-fried cookie dough. Ferris wheels, fried food, pig racing, these are all staples of the North Carolina State Fair. Most people don't come to the State Fair expecting to watch a live sporting event, but for some people, the sky is the limit. Those people are the guys of King BMX.
And check it out, it's the Half Packer.
A full-service BMX entertainment company that has performed at the State Fair for 17 years.
And we just go all over the place and entertain people riding our bicycles.
And it's not just the State Fair. The group has performed at NFL halftime shows, festivals, and even on one familiar turf, our very own Kenan Stadium. King grew up in Raleigh and says the shows close to home are the best.
And so it's like kind of like a homecoming. If you're from North Carolina, everybody goes, around this area, you go to the state fair.
Trick after trick after trick. These guys definitely gave the crowd something to cheer about.
We have a solid crew of dudes that are just throwing down on those bikes.
Throwing down and flying up, and away.
I like to personally do what's considered like a 360 Superman seat grab. It's where I'm spinning 360 degrees and I'm coming off the bike and catching the seat as it kind of flies away from me.
I'm still not sure what that trick is, but I thought I'd give those ramps a shot, and well, let's just say, I think I need a bit more practice. Okay, I wasn't that great at BMX, but I was good at trying some state fair food. Lewis, what is your favorite?
Honestly, I'm a big fan of the Krispy Kreme burger, but I like it with a little bit of lettuce.
Ooh, that crunch, right? I'm a fan of the deep fried cookie dough. I already said it, but you can't beat cookie dough.
No, you can't. It's just, it's so good.
So great.
That does it for this edition of Sports Extra.
Thanks for watching.
Have a great night.